is the Doom, is Fate Beyond's Doom.
We'll see how Bach does on the Doom. And how Innocence is going to play this IO here with Shiro. And does the IO look glitched to you and broken?
Yeah, he's got some green thing flying over him.
He's supposed to look like a completely different set, but he's broken in the moment. I don't know, the set, it does look different. I know I like my cosmetics. So, talking about this Team Tidebound roster, you know, Shiro and Planet, two players that have played together for a little while, who were being touted as the next Ame and next FY of China. And it never really panned out completely for them, but these two guys are still very, very strong players. Planet, of course, impressing in the past with his Rubik that we've seen. But I'm definitely interested to see how they play against these players from Wildcard, if they still have that sense of oomph in them, right?
I think they do. I think they're still not really proven, especially Shiro. Like his stint in the Tier 1 scene wasn't really that impressive in comparison to what you would expect from the organizations that he was in, right? So,
right.
I still think the hunger is definitely there, but if you're looking at these two teams, the hungrier ones definitely are Wildcard, because they've basically had no food in the past as players or as a team, so I expect more from them. Poor Bignam, I remember even playing against him in Eastern Europe, in Europe servers, in different tournaments. Now he's in NA, trying to make things work, and so far he is qualifying to tournaments, so that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, Wildcard doing a good job of qualifying to tournaments. They were recently at the Fissure event as well. We'll see what they can do in this this series, and see what they can do in this laning stage. Something that I think that China teams have kind of struggled with against top tier opponents. Specifically Western European teams. I think both Tidebound and Xtreme have struggled with their laning, but they do a really good job in the mid to late game, which is something surprising to say, right? Like when you've got a guy like Nothing to Say who previously in his career had played mid so well, it's always a little bit shocking to see a bit of a fall off from the peaks that these players once had.
Yeah, it's a little bit about the patch, a little bit about the amount of practice that you're putting in, so add that to the mix and things can change. Like if you think about it, even no one like, at some point had a pretty bad stint on that mid lane, right? Like a couple of years ago, and now he's back to his like full glory.
Definitely back to that full glory. Emerson sitting here under half health, and we have seen Muertas make things very frustrating for heroes with this dead shot. Maybe see some aggression level 2 from both these teams. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, right now this top lane is still I think like Undying here helps until there's like phases Orb of Corrosion on Lifestealer, and at that point you can maybe even leave him alone. Even versus these two, he's strong enough to stay ahead. But speaking about the laning stage, bot lane doing kind of alright for Abaddon, Fate doing very well, but mid lane, RCY is not having a lane in versus Nothing to Say. He's being doubled in CS almost.
Well, he's getting matched at least on denies to his CS, which is always concerning.
Yeah, but keep in mind that Nothing to Say also has 2 waves to farm now, because he kind of kept them alive.
This is going to be tough, especially if this starts to trend poorly for RCY. We've seen Nothing to Say in the past. He was one of those guys who got active off the mid pretty early on. Some damage onto the gyrocopter, but Shiro, I mean, throwing that blood grenade, I don't really know what you're expecting from that. The heals from Innocence do add up.
You don't see this very often. He's got 3 waves under the tower on mid lane. And RCY now fortifies them. Like, this is the weirdest mid lane that I have seen in a bit.
Pulls it past the tower. Meanwhile, Speed chasing Planet. He's got him quite low, but not low enough. Not enough where the decays are going to matter. And yeah, these waves continue. Nothing to Say continuing to get some CS here. Now doubling the CS of RCY. Need to not give up a death here to him, but continuing to just farm pretty well. And not only has he doubled the CS now, but he's still continuing that 1-for-1 on the denies the CS. Shiro does get low, doesn't die though.
So
the help of that IO.
This is a lane where you as IO Gyro need to be a bit more conservative. Like, you are playing into an Abaddon and Dark Willow. Level 3 on Bignum, and that would be a kill, which he does have now. They also have the Lotus, the Healing Lotus as well, so gotta be careful. They might go on them. The Brambles miss.
Oh, walked into one. That's fine. I was gonna say, may have navigated that wrong. Nothing to Say. He's a quarter of the way to level 6, while RCY is just level 4 and a quarter of the way, quarter away from being level 5.
Yeah, this matchup was never great. Nothing to say. He knows it inside out, and he's just making it look even worse than it is.
Yeah, not fun for the moment, and you will have that level 6 on Nothing to Say pretty quickly, and you can go to the Elder Dragon form and maybe pressure this tower pretty heavily.
One lane that's honestly maybe surprising me a little bit is Top. They are going on Bach now.
Bach on the run, and Tombstone going to be taken out. It's an easy 125 gold for Planet. And at the end of the day, it keeps Bach alive. Taking out that Tombstone. And again, they get Shiro low and don't kill him.
Yeah, they're just treading the line on the side lanes. Like, the mid lane is a definite win for the Dragonite. The side lanes, however, they're treading this fine line where they're managing to farm, but also to stay alive on the side of Tidebound. Specifically the Doom, where my point was. Like, this man has as much last hits as the Lifestealer versus Lifestealer Undying. This probably should not be happening.
I would say not.
They're getting way too much out of the top lane.
And the first blood not being claimed is a bit rough, because it feels like it could have been there for Wildcard a couple times. RCY now level 6, so he'll have Dream Coil, but you're not killing Nothing to Say.
Yeah, you have to get a lot of rotations going to take him down. He's not killing him alone for sure. This needs to be like a double support plus a core rotation even to take the big dragon down.
And the fact that you weren't able to punish the gyrocopter feels really bad. Because 2 times they got him to 1 or 2 last hits, or 1 or 2 right clicks away from getting that first blood, from getting that kill and slowing down this gyro's progression.
Absolutely. What is really sad about it as well is the fact that he's playing with an IO. So he doesn't even need extra region. You drop him down low and then he just gets healed up by Y. So, even rougher. But to me, the more surprising thing is still the top lane. I think too much on bot.
Good damage done to the tower. It's not everything they would like, but it is something. They are bringing over the Dark Dark Willow, and Bignum may be able to secure them first blood here. See how patient they are. Leaves the Abaddon alone, which is not the worst thing in the world. They're going to try and go for this. They have singled away Planet from everybody else. The Tombstone is down, and first blood will be secured for the side of Wildcard. 3 attempts at it. Finally, they get it.
Yeah, they needed to make that extra rotation, but it's well worth it.
It's well worth it for now. DK, though, while that's happening, gonna clean up another wave without missing a beat. As he hits 51 CS.
At this point, it truly doesn't matter too much. Played.
Lymphatic Shield is not gonna be enough and will die. Memphitic Shield.
He did not have a TP from the puck. I felt like maybe there's a chance for RCY to TP in and Dark Willow to stay mid. Could have been a counter kill on IO at least.
It's tough to TP near because he was near the tier 1 tower. Like, nothing to say, maybe what? Just walks over and Dragon Tails, right?
It was definitely possible, but yeah, I agree. It was like a conscious decision not to try because he could move back, get to the 3 line. In any case, that's when you said we'll see if it's worth it, that first blood. Well, the Dark Willow rotation does hurt them in the end as Abaddon dies.
Yeah. And it was that on top of the fact that I thought maybe Dark Willow might come over towards mid to try and slow down a potential push from Nothing to Say. But Nothing to Say likes kind of where the wave is at, and he's not exactly forcing pressure onto the tower too much. Tombstone.
The Dream Coil.
Dreams shattered.
Yeah, they need to save the Tombstone at least, right?
Yeah. They need to make sure they don't give this up.
They can always deny it if he gets it low enough. But
I don't think he has the time anymore. Borrowed time popped. Does he? Oh, he does. 150 gold. I thought it might time out on him. I mean, that's worth a killish, kind of gold.
More or less, yeah. They probably thought it's going to expire as well, so they didn't try to deny it. Unfortunate for them, because Nothing to Say is now sitting on 1,300 gold. He's getting closer to the blink. Like, he is massive.
He really is. That can prove to be an issue.
Yeah, he's finding more farm than the Gyro, who's being constantly healed and stacked by the Wisp. So
they are over mid. Planet's here, almost level 6. But Nothing to Say, level 9 at the moment. And again, gonna have this Elder Dragon form, a full creep wave with a catapult. They'll glyph it, and they'll throw down the brambles and try to pull the wave away from the tower, but Nothing to Say is gonna be pretty tanky to just kind of like stand here. They'll deter him, though, with an illusory orb and the threat of a Dream Coil.
the problem is now, like, before you needed the next rotation, for sure, you needed the core, besides these two supports. But now, even if you bring a core, relocate is up. Like, they have level 6 on Rio. And you just can't commit on anyone on the map, because that relocate might just blow you up.
This mid-tier one's money in the bank. I don't think Nothing to Say is too upset about not getting this tower yet. The creep waves just keep coming to him. They're in the river. He doesn't have to put himself in any bad spots. Easy farm, easy blink dagger at around 12.5 minutes.
Absolutely. 50 gold left, and he's got it. Planet, though, he might be a kill.
Yeah, walking into the bedlam and these heroes isn't smart. If anybody's going to lead up those steps, it should be the DK.
He was just checking for any wards. He planted down the sentry and didn't check the high ground before going up there, so...
Going Orchid next. Fade. Constantly being harassed. He does have 19 charges in the wand. Doom was used on this Lifestealer. They're bringing everybody, but they've relocated in. Dream Coil out of 3. Ooh, this might be bad. But with the sustain from Y, oh, not enough. Shiro's still dead, and this is horrid for Team Tidebound. They bring over the DK. They get RCY. That's a little bit of a saving grace, but Tombstone committed, and nothing to say. And Planet need to kind of run this one back. The decays are going to be stacked on it too if they stand so close together. They go to the Pierce, the Veil, the damage though on the speed. They stay a little bit too long, and now you've got the tether back. You're going to get some extra gold on Innocence with that Tombstone being taken. I feel like that started well for Wildcard, but you gave up a little bit more than really I think that was necessary.
Yeah, it started off great for them. Doom wasted, well, killing the Lifestealer, but getting both the Doom and the Gyro. That started off really well, but they overcommitted. And also, nothing to say plus Planet, they had a good wraparound with the smoke. That was nicely read by them that they needed to connect.
Well, nothing to say. We'll sit towards top. Almost level 12.
Keep in mind that this IO, of course, he wants to overcharge the Gyrocopter, but as we're seeing right here, he has more targets that he can play with. Dragonite is really a good target for IO to tether to and overcharge him in these fights.
Especially with him about to be level 12.
How do you feel about the new IO shard, by the way? Like, it's kind of interesting, I mean...
Well, it's similar to the old tether, right?
Old tether that used to stun?
Yeah. Well, it's similar to that, right?
Pretty much. Planet?
Yeah, dead here to speed. With the help of RCY and Big Gnome.
Though. They have a blink here on the DK.
Half the duration available on the Elder Dragon form. They still have Dream Coil, though. And they smoke. So they want to fight this. They were chasing the Abaddon. They've got all 5 heroes here. They'll drop down a Tombstone, and they'll start to back them away. But they might re-engage. They'll have the help of Planet coming back into the fight, and they know that they need to leave, but they're leaving maybe some heroes vulnerable if they make the jump. RCY staying a little bit, and they're going to just grab themselves the Tombstone. RCY with a TP. They don't see him.
Yeah, that's a nice little area to TP from, but it will give away the Tormentor, which is basically the reason why they smoked up. They wanted to take this fight. You know what the mistake was? The Tombstone. It was too early, and it was too far away from the Tormentors, so they couldn't really commit to the Tormentor, they couldn't really commit to a fight. If they saved the Tombstone, I feel like that maybe they could have had a different shot at taking that fight, but it was a difficult one regardless.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Top lane, tier 1 tower. Creeps in, and they're looking for Doom. They've got it, Planet, and the relocate. So the calling, the dead shot, that'll throw him back into the Inferno Blade. They've got the Rocket Barrage, and Bach gets that kill. It's, I don't know if it feels like all of a sudden, but it is a 5,000 net worth lead here for Team Tidebound, and they're going to relocate back towards Fade in the bottom lane. And even put some damage on him and run him down through this Aphotic Shield. Pops the borrowed time of the Blade Mail. Speed with the Blood Grenade. But again, I mean, it's getting you slow, but I don't really think this Gyro's too scared of you at the moment. He'll be scared when he sees 4 heroes, and they are rotating in 2 more.
Yeah, the 2 of them he's not afraid of. But when they bring the whole full squad, a bit different. Yeah, 5k goal lead. Off of the Dragonite having a really good mid-game, of course, and Gyrocopter just being what he is with an IO. And on top that all off with a Doom that didn't lose his lane into Undying Lifestealer. So Bach is also having a Midas to work with. Their gold coffers are filling up.
Dire's top
Gyro with IO going top and just about
Bot
has
lane.
the edge.
Yeah.
Got themselves the Dream Coil, and they're going to try and get a kill here on a Nothing to Say. And with nobody around, no relocate, but they had TPs.
That was a pretty quick kill, though. All of them surrounding him. He's not this like tanky Dragonite that has, I don't know, at this point, SNY or Armlet. Like in the old patch, in the last patch, when we went for full carry mode. He has a Blink and Oblivion Staff. Like, he's not that tanky. 2k HP almost. If you remember the last series, a sniper was sitting on that amount at this point.
Yeah, that's true. So gets his axe 12 seconds faster than the record so far. And let's see if they probably gonna wait for this Orchid as well to smoke up. Man, RCY 0-1-5, so actually involved in 5 of the 6 kills, but starting to move over as they've got the Rod of Atos into the calling.
Oh, the creeps!
Oy. That is not cool from the Croakers, but they will get the kill to speed. They'll use this Doom. It's onto the Abaddon. The Dream Coil committed and not really getting them all that much. Croakers again putting Innocence into the air, but the Croakers won't cause them too much harm, and they're going to still push forward. They've got the Orchid, but can they get the follow-up stun? The dead shot into the Dragon Tail. Well done there by Team Tidebound, right by the Tier 2 tower to get themselves even more out of the map.
He needed less than 100 gold to finish off his Yules, and then that silence probably doesn't lead to a kill. In any case, Tendrils off the deep, man. Like, they just absolutely rescued Speed for a moment. He managed to use the Tombstone, and in a different game, that could have been a disaster for Tidebound. But they're way too far ahead. 8k now. This is what we discussed, right? Like, by the time Lifestealer comes online and he gets at least his Radiance, this Gyro is miles ahead. Oh, Relic! Yeah. Relic!
Oh, no! He tried to even go closer to it. Well, now it's definitely a problem.
Honestly, yes. It's like a really big problem because that delays it a further 2 minutes. That's absolutely sad for Yamsun.
God, that's tough life. Oof. Oy. God. I mean, now you're without that Radiance and without it for another minute and a half. If, and that's if,
stun mid.
The second time around they get the Courier, but they've got the stun and they had the Orchid, but still, you Yule's up. You're still in the calling. You're gonna die regardless. Oi! Call down connects, and now, oh, the Holy Missile now changes direction to the Dark Willow because they got the kill out of the puck. Deadshot hits the Abaddon. Don't even think that was intended, but it's definitely worth it. Rod of Atos, the damage on a Bignum not gonna be enough. Even though
almost.
Oh.
Almost. Okay, so I have to say though that this could have been way cleaner from Planet. A couple of mistakes there, like the dead shot was not on point on the puck. They had that kill earlier before he even uses Yules, if it's because he was stunned and all he needed to do was dead shot him afterwards. But yeah, in any case, they still do get the puck. They just had to invest a little bit more than they intended to.
Well, bottom tier 1 gone, 11,000 net worth lead, 22 minutes into the game. Satanic next for the Gyrocopter. And in a Roche, they go.
There's still no Radiance up on Yamsun. He's about to get it though. The Courier did respawn.
Well, I'm not going to say it's a guarantee until it's on him.
He's gonna run back to it, hopefully.
Oh, okay. All right. They're going for Roche. They use this call down to get a bit of a deterrent. Oh, RCY jumped in. Aegis picked up, and now Yule's trying to jaunt away, but he's silenced. Terrorize. That's going to land on a 4. They've got Shiro in a bit of a bad spot, but they use the Doom. It's onto the Abaddon. They got the kill on RCY. The Infernal Blade is there. They'll get the kill on the Abba. They'll take out a second, and they're going to look for more as the chase is on from Nothing to Say. He's got Blink, Dragon Tail, Yamsun here to try and help with the Radiance. But you're fighting into what doesn't seem to be a successful attempt, and they have to back away.
Definitely a speedy Undying right there. He has Ghost Scepter as well, keeping him alive, but DOTA never ceases to amaze just how much a second or two matter, like in these circumstances. Like if he gets that Radiance 10 seconds earlier, maybe they can properly contest Rush, but like this, they just can't, and Jaro just moving further and further away from everyone else. 16,000 net worth on Shiro. Gonna have that Reaver and Claymore soon. Satanic will be completed.
Dire's middle tower is under
Not too far away, and they are just continuing to put pressure on Planet. He's farming bottom by himself. He's looking to go into the Glimmer and then that Axe to upgrade that Dead Shot. He's very farmed.
Absolutely. Like they are able to just pick and choose the targets. You know, like Doom can wait as well, join the fight a bit later. And Doom and Abaddon that has his ulti off already.
Dead Shot. And the calling, continuing to keep him silent. Homing missile flying over. Shiro continuing on. They go to the call down. And Speed is going to be killed very quickly. Just wanted to say, by the way, those damage numbers came up on our screen. The Lifestealer had less than 2,000 damage.
Total in this game, you mean?
Yes.
Yep, it's rough. He only just completed the Radiance, and on the other side there's already, by the way, I just talked about it, but he's got the Satanic now. And this could even be high ground very soon. Nothing to say, also has a BKB. Yeah, basically.
And you're still working with Aegis. Like, you still have it for 2.5 minutes. There's no reason to really be too scared.
You could wait for your items to come online, like some crit or Daedalus, but no, they're just going in.
Why not? Dragon Tail even hitting into the Blade Mail. Borrowed Time is popped, but the calling is there with the Rod of Atos, and he is able to blink away.
That's basically the point of the Satanic, by the way. It negates complete... I mean, you usually like to buy it, maybe not this early on, but versus Blade Mail, it just keeps you alive so you don't kill yourself.
4 seconds until Satanic. Back up. Tier 3 is going to die here.
Okay, maybe a mistake, but this Satanic is still going to heal up, right? Yep, through the creeps.
They're going to just get this center axe. I mean, if they force a fight, they might just end the game. The whole time, Lifestealer is just farming, trying to find his son, Jinyasha. But you're losing at least half your mid-set of racks. They didn't even use the Aegis. They still have a minute on it. Like, if they really wanted to, they could push bottom and continue on.
He's got his SNY, though. It is completed on Lifestealer, and maybe this is already a point in which you have a blink on Puck in a minute or two, for sure. Maybe even a matter of seconds. And then you can infest bomb, perhaps make a play of your own. It's really not easy, but you have to do something.
Yeah, you have to. The question is how, or in which way do they decide to? Torm taken. Innocence now has that shard. So you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, we'll see how it works. It is an interesting one, right? Like, I love that they move the shard to tether, making it making the tether kind of more interesting of a spell. Just
Nothing to say is under an obs right now.
It could be a really good kill. They have a blink on Fade as well.
It could be, but they have relocate. You're not alone. It almost feels like a bit of a bait. Obviously, I would say not intentionally, not knowing where that obs is, but they're going to go. They've got the Rod of Atos. They look over at this Tombstone as they use the Terrorize, but it's not looking like enough. Doom comes through onto the Lifestealer. They get the kill on the Yamsun. They'll send back this Puck, TP out from the Undying, and with no Lifestealer for 45, you push in and push towards the high ground.
Absolutely. Nothing stopping you. Unless you want to be very careful, finish off some items on your gyro like a butterfly first, but at this point, you truly don't have to. Half of that duration on Dragon still up. This game is... Not gonna say it's over just yet, but it's getting there.
It definitely is. Glyph again, Orchid on the Dark Willow, and that's going to be a tier 3 gone. Dead shot flying through, not finding any target, not finding a home. And these racks, you just stand here. That's all you really need to do. You've got Satanic still, so it is that pseudo second life that you have.
Yeah, they're infesting. They want to make a play.
They have to.
This is a cool approach, like blink on Abaddon instead of on the Puck. He still has a blink, right? So we can infest, go in. Speed.
Tombstone down, but Tombstone already taken out. They're going to blink forward. They're going to try and get something out of this one. They're going to pop out of the infest. They'll look to get the kill here on Innocent. So they do take out the IO, but they're still tanky without IO. And the question is, do they still want to fight?
How the hell did Speed live through all of that? That's kind of crazy.
A bit of a surprise, yeah.
Yeah, like every single time so far that they went on him, they killed him off. Even in some situations where he's pretty far away from Tidebound. But I guess they focused on the Tombstone instead. And I forgot all about him.
22,000 net worth lead.
You know, like, I know that the game is looking almost impossible, which... What are the stats? Let me see the graphs. 87 to 13, so it's not like impossible, right? Like, there is still a play, and that play is Aghanims on Lifestealer. Like, he is going towards it. This Aghanims kind of changes things a little bit in the fights. If he can get on top of the gyro and use it, so a lot of damage and a pretty long disarm. Actually, it no longer disarms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, he has to get this, and he has to be able to not get doomed either.
Is this...
5-man smoke.
How good is this item now without it disarming? I was hyping it up, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Let's see, they make the jump, they go to the Dream Coil, it's going to be on a 2. They'll pop the infest, they're going to focus on Innocence. Why? Low, terrorized, gone. They'll take out Speed, the borrowed time. Can they stop this Abaddon from TPing out? No, they can't, but they get the kill on a Bignum. They're going to find themselves Yamsun, who's on the run. Doesn't have infest. Oh, dead shot on the money. And Fade is dead. They do get the Abaddon, and they are going to get Yamsun here too. It's just a matter of time. And RCY back into the base. They'll call GG, and Team Tidebound making easy work of game number 1.
Just looking a little bit too strong. Nothing to say with the Bloodthorn as well at this point. Also, by the way, Abaddon way, yeah, the cliff.
Yeah. And you could definitely...
I'm not sure if it connects on Dire. Like, the range is... Yeah, it does. But it's gonna be clutch.
We'll see how he does it. This is going to be interesting. This Coddle, I mean, nothing to say. Showing that he's a very strong mid, so I want to see how he performs going up against RCY on this Nature's Prophet over in the mid lane. They do have Planet on the Earthshaker, and I've talked about him being a very good Rubik player, but Planet, one of the heroes that he was definitely making a name for himself on was the Earthshaker.
Yeah, he was. I remember. And we'll see. Like I've seen a couple of Shakers recently. I think yesterday we saw Shaker 4, right, as well. So it definitely doable. And in a hard lane, like when a lane is really hard, you just don't play the lane. Planet is doing exactly that. He's gonna fissure block on the first wave, get that clarity going, maybe block it again.
Oh,
maybe, yeah. That's it. That's it. When the lane is too hard, you don't play it.
sounds about right. Interesting to see how this kind of pops off.
Yeah, double block.
Very annoying.
Yeah, Yamsen did a really good job at blocking, though. So even though they blocked the wave twice, it's still not under the tower of Bach.
This is interesting. I mean, they're also going to push the wave in.
Are they? Yeah, they will. Well,
with the fatal bonds on the creep wave, right? Well, I guess the other creep wave got here in time.
Yeah, it's still not going to go under the tower.
Yeah.
So this is actually pretty good for a wildcard, I have to say. Because the first wave could have been completely denied under the tower. Good blocks by Yamsen. Good clarity of mind to know that he needs to do that.
Looking over mid 3-1, early to the 4-3 of RCY. But another deny, so this is not so easy at the moment for NTS.
Yeah. Basically, you can... Oh, nice. Kill. Top lane. Maybe another one.
Yeah,
for
it ends
Shiro
up being
on
a
the other
trade.
side.
Shiro getting Fade is not what you want to be giving up, and now with the creeps going under the tower, I was wondering if Shiro would be willing to even try and go for Big Num, but he pops that salve and is able to heal up. Ends up being a 1-for-1. They lose the Jakiro. We've seen so many times the Jakiro be aggressive.
Nothing
it's no
to say.
surprise that we're seeing. Nothing to say. Oy, oy, oy.
This lane is not easy for Coddle, but most lanes aren't. So, like, even though it looks pretty... Actually, he has no stacks as well.
Are you surprised that he's not got anything
Yeah,
yet?
I am, for sure. I'm a bit surprised. He didn't have boots, though, but I'm still surprised. Because, like, you definitely are not winning versus a Prophet on the mid lane. With level 2 Illuminate, at least you can push out a little bit. But overall, he just lasted with a 3 plus himself. It's way too strong.
Throwing that Illuminate in to get that 1 CS ends up causing you to have creeps just be in deny range, and they get denied on you. That's not exactly fun. Dual Breath and the Liquid Frost, the calling down, the silence on Shiro, the damage being done to Big Num not going to be enough, and now they'll turn their attention on a Fade. Blood Grenade on Shiro there too. But Shiro standing his ground, and they're even going to look to try and get a kill on a Big Num. They do. The dead shot misses. Fade in trouble. Both kills here being for the side of Team Tidebound would be devastating, and it will go that way.
Yeah, you know what? Like, why is this lane so interesting on top lane? Because your 3k MMR player thinks, oh my god, Ursa versus melee, I'm so strong, right? But usually Tidehunter with a good position 4 can do well against an Ursa. However, nothing beats Jakiro. I feel like this hero just makes a absolutely different world on the top lane, and the 3k minded player was actually correct in the end. But what needs to be said as well is this guy that we just saw, look at his CS. Look at the Beast... Actually, don't Google Beastmaster CS.
I'm Googling.
Don't Google it.
Hey, he comes back via stacks, right? I mean, both
Yeah, but this is
him
still
and the
very
Kato
bad.
work well with stacks, but Kato hasn't made any stacks. Nothing to say, just constantly being sprouted. Trying to get denies here, but RCY controlling the lane, 21 and 12, doing what he's doing to Nothing to Say what Nothing to Say did to him.
Yeah, and the matchup is very similar when it comes to like the power levels of the two heroes. Can't expect much more from Nothing to Say. But I probably did expect more stacking. Maybe he's just afraid of them invading them or something similar, but that's usually where you get the majority of your gold from as a coddle.
Right. With all that being said, you know, he is CSing fine at 22 CS for Nothing to Say.
He's doing it now, by the way. You see, like, he's not stacking. Murta will die.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it doesn't pull both waves. I just learned something new. It connects on both the creep camps, but it doesn't pull them, so you can't stack unless you move towards the other one.
Right.
Because you're
So
too
maybe
far.
you, yeah, you could do that with Spirit Form, I guess.
I think you can still do it, but you need to cut the trees, which he isn't doing. He misses the other one now as well, so not
No,
optimal.
he got one of the wolves.
One.
Yeah. But now he's got the Illuminate level 3. He's starting to get some more creeps. He's continuing to farm. He is, in fact, level 6 and keeping up with RCY in terms of experience.
Yep.
The question is, what does he do with this? Because he's going Boots of Travel level, first item.
That's standard. You can go earn sometimes as well, but it's standard to go Boots of Travel. The question is he going to rotate or will someone rotate to him? Because Prophet is a really good kill and not really a hard one. He's sitting on sub 1000 HP with Solar Bind. He can definitely fall. And you can see why Radiant are scanning. Just because of that, they know that Coddle will try.
Oh, boy. Cool Breath, Ice Path. They're going to TP in, but the Illuminate's there. They get the kill to RCY, and the TP is stopped immediately. And with that, Nothing to Say also going towards bot. And they'll look over to try and get Yamps. A kill on both these heroes would be massive. A good jump away from the Illuminate. They don't have Primal Roar. The Stifling Dagger slows them up, but they do have this Hawk, and the damage coming through. The Fissure gets the kill, and both mid and the position 1 carry die to Tidebound, and really to Nothing to Say making these rotations.
Basically him. Well, it was Jakiro as well, right? Like the good rotation from Y. They kind of faked the mid rotation really well. Top lane fade.
They're going Ice Path again. This is Innocence trying to work with Shiro to get this. They do have level 6. He does have that Enrage. They don't want to have the damage at the moment. But yeah, Kato goes back to mid. He's got the Boots of Travel flying out. He's going into the urn next. And he can be pretty much anywhere. He's got a bit of a cooldown on his current TP, but soon there will be a way.
Yeah, I just want to mention this one cool play that they did before killing off Prophet mid. Shaker moved mid, showed himself, then hit himself in the triangle, making Prophet think that Shaker is the one that's coming with a gank, making him scan the Radiant jungle, thinking that he's safe, and then the Jakiro hits you from a different position. But yeah, we'll see how much they can do afterwards. It's still on Tidebound, I believe, to pressure this map.
I did so initially very well.
They're scouted. They know exactly where they are.
Well,
Bignum is still dead,
now they
though.
find Bignum. He's going to die to that Illuminate. And then again, immediately, Nothing to Say, going bottom. Solar Binding, and he's not going to get this kill, but it at least defends Bach, who did use that Primal Roar, by the way. And he also was able to heal him up.
Yeah, remember what we were discussing about Coral? He doesn't really like heroes with mobility because they can dodge your Solar Bind Illuminate combo, and PA is not really an easy one, so couldn't really go for that one. Couldn't go for that kill. He's just making so much pressure on the map, though.
That scouts it out.
Can they punish them here? Fate does have level 6 and Ravage. There's no Spirit Form to work with.
Not for
And
30
no
seconds. And then I think they needed to. I would have liked to see them commit to a fight here.
Yeah, especially on that triangle, because Jakiro was kind of left stranded. If RCY TP's in, they had 3 heroes. They could have surrounded them, but they're very timid now. I feel like they just lost a lot early on, 7 kills, so they're
Now instead, they smoke up and they're going to try and find something with Spirit Form being back available, and it could just be this PA once more, and it will be. He's going to have a creep wave to jump to. They will have the TPs. They'll look for the Illuminate. It won't connect, so they'll back off. They didn't want to go for the PA, but now speed. He needs to be careful and takes a lot of damage. Ice Path following it up, but not going to be too much for him to handle. Bach, meanwhile, trying to farm some stacks. He's going into the Ags, but this is a pretty slow Ags considering where he's at the moment.
Yeah, he really didn't have a good lane. Warlock, PA, you cannot lane there, and just surviving, not dying a single time is still commendable. This smoke is actually really damn good from Wildcard.
They find Planet with it.
That's maybe even unfortunate. Beastmaster would have been a prime target, taking his Ancients, shutting him down.
RCY TPing into this and TPing out. That could have been very dangerous.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I mean, comes up here and Chiro really doesn't care.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Looks as soon to the Battle Fury. Vessel first on the list for nothing to say after picking up these boots of travel.
Yep. Well, when it comes to everyone else, Fade moving towards the Vlads, PA towards the Battle Fury. Not too far from it, just needs a broadsword and a recipe, but has 1,000 gold already. So, these cores on Wildcard, they are kind of famished, but they do have a lot of stacks to work with as well.
Right.
Not even sure these two can farm them. Like
I'm a little surprised that they're not trying to invade on Tidebound looking for stacks. Is he gonna stack it again?
That smoke from Wildcard was supposed to invade the enemy Ancients, but when it comes to Tidebound invading, it's kind of scary. There is a Ravage available. This is going to be hard.
This. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. We've seen it be difficult. But Fatal Bonds on some of these creeps. Wrath of Nature, that'll bounce around, make it a little bit easier. And they will grab this stack. So, bit of a beauty here.
It's a pretty good chunk of gold. Like, to explain a bit more, like this Prophet, I feel like right now he's in a really rough spot. But as this game progresses, he becomes a pretty big issue. Like, if he can get to his Mjolnir Brooch and BKB timing, like, he dishes out a ton of damage, can move around the fights. If he gets like a pike, he can keep distance from the Ursa. And also he can, at almost any given point, kill off the Keeper of the Light in 3-4 hits. PA?
In trouble. And the chase down is there. The Macropire committed. Bach also using that Primal Roar. Now just 700 gold away from having that Ags. And slowing down this Phantom Assassin who is catching up to the Ursa. But Ursa down here to take the tower and make life pretty easy. He's got that Battle Fury. That timing was pretty quick. It was the best of the patch, I believe. Or the average. It was definitely a quick one. And he's going into the Blink Dagger, and so is Planet. And Planet needs a little bit more farm just to kind of have that initiation. And they are up 3,000 net worth. They do have good gold on both their supports, but you could see Coddle and Beastmaster especially, you know, despite the slow start there for Bach, is very far ahead of where Fade's at, who's not really getting anything out of the map.
Yep. They never died. That's also very important. Like, these cores never died on the side of Tidebound, so they're finding a lot of farm. I'm interested in seeing what the builds are going to be on Coddle. I feel like everything else is very straightforward. versus a Battle Fury, Blink Dagger, right? Maybe a Basher afterwards, MKB versus PA, we'll see. Beastmaster going for that Aghanims build. But here comes the smoke.
All their team fights available. Innocence is here. The scam connects, but they don't quite commit.
They're so timid. I just like to see a fight. It doesn't even matter. Like, they have Fatal Bonds, they have Rock. It's not like they're that weak, plus Ravage. But they're just never committing, and now it's Tidebound that's smoked up.
Do they want
Tormentor, yes.
Torn? But oh, Scan connects. And Tormentor is up, but there's PA here, but I don't know about this. Bignum Solar Bound and on the run. Planet with the fissure to block him from getting down the steps. Doesn't even need to connect it on the stun. Stifling Dagger, RCY, he comes through. They've got themselves the Sprout. Chaotic offering, the Fatal Bonds are really well placed.
Damage.
Good damage to start with Wrath of Nature, but now they've got to get more out of this. Ravage only hits out of the Jakiro, and now they hit the fissure on a 2. Primal Roar and the Macro Pyre. They get the kill on a Yamsun. They're going to look for more. Shiro jumps to the back line. They get the kill on a Speed. The look over at Fade. 3 heroes got on the side of Wildcard. It looked promising at the start, but promises are meant to be broken.
It looked very promising. And also very unfortunate for the wildcard because the fight is a little bit too stretched out. Like, the Golem is good, the Fatal Bonds are nice, but they can't follow up quickly enough. Like, there's no death shot, there's Sprout already used. So, of course, Murta is already dead, so the death shot just isn't there to bring someone back to you. And keep the eye on Coddle. Like, here the presence of mind to use the Illuminate very defensively. Heals the Jakiro, heals himself, and forces another Ice Bat out of him. Or, I shouldn't say forces. Allows him to use another. So, just a... Tidebound are playing these teamfights better. In game number 1 and in game number 2.
Yeah, and again, you talking about the heal from the Coddle, it's so good there. And the Fissure too, Planet. I mean, the Fissures in that fight, starting with the kill onto the Muerta, were perfect.
Yep.
Doesn't have to hit, but it blocks them from coming up the steps initially, right?
Yep. And Bignum is just not having a good game. 1-4 on him. I'm going for that Atos first. At this point, I wonder if maybe a 4-staff would have been better. Maybe a Glimmer. But they don't really have a lot of catch. Like, their catch, one thing needs to be said about their draft, their catch is very high committal. You have a Rock and you have a Tide Hunter with Ravage. That's it. Like, everything else is manageable. Like, you can shoot through the Sprout or get away from the PA. I think the shard that once again might be needed on Tide, even though it's not a great game for it.
Wing Dagger would be nice so he could get in a position to throw a Ravage that hits more than just one target. It's tough though. And he is behind. Oh boy, Speed getting caught. He is behind by 1,000 gold, the position 4 of the side of the Tidebound.
Yeah, Planet. I'm not even sure where all of this gold is coming from, honestly. He has 1 kill and 2 assists, but...
Shiro gonna TP towards bot. And nothing to say, messing with Fade, and the TP attempt, they'll be out.
Kind of cool that he's going for Aghanims, by the way.
On
the Coddle. Yeah.
To get that Will-O-Wisp.
I was honestly expecting a Dagon, because this looks like a pretty damn good Dagon game. PA isn't really the healthiest hero out there when it comes to HP, like she's got only 1,000. Solarbind Dagon and she already loses half of that pool, so... But Aghanims brings you more control that you aren't really lacking of, so... And also it's not that amazing into profit, but... Okay.
A lot more going right here for Team Tidebound. And, I mean, Wildcard, it's a PA game, right? Battle Fury BKB, you've always got a shot. But losing Fade like that is going to make things harder. You don't have that initiator.
It's not only that you don't have an initiator, you're putting this Ursa further ahead. I feel like that's maybe a bigger issue. Shiro now is sitting on 14,000 net worth, and what that means is that he will be getting that MKB faster. Planet?
Planet ends up dead. He's a big part of this. And now Primal Roar, though, getting RCY. Without Tide, you just don't have that Ravage. You don't have the control. Planet's willing to die here to sacrifice for kills like this.
Yeah, 2 for 1. And once again, the big kill goes to Shiro. So by the time PA gets to the BKB Battle Fury, which is very soon, she's on 1,000 gold. She almost has it, actually. But Shiro, he has a Demon Edge just in the next wave. He needs one more wave and he will have it.
Tier 2 getting pushed in. You see that Box able to push. He's got the Zags. He's almost got his BKB as well. Fatalmon's to try and clear the wave, but you've got Jakiro to help push this tower. They're also at the 21-minute mark. They're going to get this Shrine. Kato's going to be back there to get his own. So this is big in terms of experience and trying to find your way back in. And RCY trying to find farm anywhere he can. 14,000 net worth lead and a smoke from Tidebound. If they were to shut down Yemsa and kill him 1 or 2 more times, I think that's just it. But again, now he's got the Battle Fury BKB, but it just... there's normally a timing where this feels good, and losing Bignum right now, I just don't think it's enough. You're so reliant on just PA getting Nat 20 after Nat 20.
She's tipping in, though. Keep in mind, the Aegis is gone in a couple of seconds. Yep.
Oh, they don't want to go. Yeah. Not even gonna try and tempt fate. And I understand it. You have to play a little bit conservative there.
It's just there are these big ultis on the other side. You don't want to test your luck way too much. On both sides, I feel like you need to approach, even with 15k advantage, you need to approach these fights very conservatively from Tidebound, because you are playing into Warlock, and I feel like this hero just forces everyone to be a bit more careful than they usually would be. Like Fatal Bonds, Ravage, and Rock, they don't... These 3 spells, they don't care how far ahead you are. If you don't have any dispels, you will die to the Fatal Bonds damage, so... you can see the Tidebound are still very conservative with their moves.
Let's see what the next plan of action is. At least for Tidebound, I mean, the thought process has got to be potentially wait till Roche, right?
Which will be up in how much time, B-Cop? I think we have the clock.
We have the initial clock. We don't have the secondary clock afterwards. I'm not answering any clock questions anymore. This has been my TED Talk.
All right. By the way, he did go for a Basher on Ursa and not the MKB, so completed the Basher first.
I don't hate that.
It's all right.
I will say Shard, I would like to see on Coddle. The double solar bind feels like it could be devastating.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely a decent shard for him.
It's good, like, I got it from Torm Shard.
Yep. It's like the thing with Coddle is... Oh, another Bignum kill.
Yeah.
The thing about Bignum is he's died too many times.
2 and 7 so far.
Are scanning.
Fade. He's gonna try and TP out. He is. He's out. But Speed, not so fortunate. He tries to TP. And now they hit the ice path. They've got the Illuminate. They'll get another kill. Nothing to say, dominating.
Why did
Coddle
he...
struggled with lane, but he's been pouring it out since. What were you going to say?
Yeah, speaking of Coddle, why did he let him
Roar,
TP out?
RCY? They're going to get this kill. They've got the ice path, and the damage is huge. Bach getting that kill and taking out this Nature's Prophet who's just trying to find anywhere to farm.
I might be a bit greedy for kills. They did get the Prophet and the Warlock, but Tide shouldn't have TP there. I'm not sure. Did Coddle see him? Like, nothing to say had vision on him.
I thought he did.
Yeah, Will-O-Wisp, and he's caught, right? No? Yeah, am I crazy? I'm pretty sure you catch him, yep.
Right.
A non-interrupting pull towards it on all enemies within the radius. I am wrong. You're wrong. I need to read more.
It's yeah. It is in the more details. I'll let you have that.
I didn't read this change actually. I play a lot of Coddle, by the way, but
all right,
this change.
Can you cut it out over there? Also, nothing to say gets the shard off the torp. Cut it out. Get that camera off my screen. Get it out of here.
Dire's middle tower is
I don't want to see any of this. Stop bragging. You know how to read a clock. A lot of people are not going to understand that this bit has been going on for the last 3 days.
Yep.
I still don't know what that means. I'm gonna assume 20 seconds.
Dire are
I don't know how to read that.
Radiant are scanning.
Taking out some sentries. Shiro, by the way, working on the MKB, picks up the Demon Edge, BKB for RCY. But the BKBs aren't exactly the greatest thing in the world here for the side of Wildcard. You've got Beastmaster in the game. Like, he'll just roar you. Ignis Fatus on the ground. Taking the obs, BKB, Primal Roar, Chaotic Offering to try and turn this. But Yamsun's going to try and fight. They get the kill on the big number. They'll pop the BKB on the RCY. The Macropyre's down. Innocence, one shot from being dead here. They'll get the kill. RCY gets that with the Wrath of Nature. But now RCY on the run. And BKB ran out. But Yamsun's going to go after this Ursa. That might be a mistake. Oh, blasted back up out of the high ground. Stifling Dagger hits on a Shiro. But they've got the totem to lock up Yamsun for a moment. Do they re-engage on this? Might be able to do so. They've got another Will-O-Wisp that they'll drop down. They get the kill to fade. They'll look over at Bignum. That's going to be another kill onto the Muerta. Dominating for Bach, and they just continue to fight so well in and out of these exchanges.
It looked maybe even promising once again for Wildcard as this fight started. But the way they juked them, the way they moved back, baited the Tidehunter a little bit too deep. The blinding light on PA is making her life pretty damn miserable post BKB, so she's not really able to do a lot. But keep in mind the third Shaker, he was just using the Fissure and his Shard, and that's it. Echo was not even needed this whole fight. They had more than enough control just from the Fissures and the Enchant Totem spams. By the way, I'm pretty sure Will-O-Wisp was interrupting in that last fight. I'm not crazy. Like something. There is definitely something off here. Maybe he just didn't want to break the TP on the Tidehunter. I'm losing my mind here.
Checking out some neutrals. Checking out some items across the board. Ooh, Speed dies with haste. Not meaning that he had the haste rune, but he died quickly.
Yeah. There's a MKB fully completed and soon a Swift Blink as well on Shiro. Needs to be said though, Yamsun, he is keeping up. He is second in net worth charts. He took over the Beastmaster. If they can buff him up a little bit more, maybe there's a chance that he can clean up the backlines fast enough. You know what? Like a really good team fight would look like them jumping the portal and immediately eliminating him.
If
With
they can. I
BKBs.
mean, it is so hard. He's got a Ghost Scepter, too.
Yep, it's not easy, but with some stun plus PA, he dies in singular stun.
Gotta watch that courier. RCY looking to just sit here on what I would call the peninsula, but that is not the right geographical term, I have found out. I believe.
It would need to have a sea around it to be a peninsula.
Yeah. But it's peninsula shaped. It looks like
soon, don't worry.
Florida.
The game is flooding anyway. Soon we're gonna have
Soon everything's
water
gonna be
all around.
underwater, yeah.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm down with it. All the lanes in water, I'm here for it.
Yeah, all the Slardar players are as well. I'm pretty sure. This looks like a possible high ground push.
Yeah, it does.
Banner is down. They're healing up with the Illuminate Blasts. He's got a full Octarine core, so almost constant spirit form.
Get the tier 3 in the high ground.
They want to wrap behind.
Can they, though, with full conviction? Is this going to get them anything? Nothing to say in the trees.
If they could kill him, wouldn't be that terrible, but now they know. They saw speed. He broke his smoke.
Oh, boy. So I'm being told it's a plateau. Well, the potential of this wildcard draft is plateauing, but now the Ravage comes through. Is it? Nothing to say, dead immediately. The Will-O-Wisp is down. That's exactly what you were calling for, Lizard, was them getting this. Echo Slam before Planet dies. The BKB is going to be popped by Bach. They get the kill on a Big Gnome. They'll end up losing Innocence. 3 heroes gone to the side of Team Tidebound. Now Bach trying to get away from this. I don't think he can. He's burning low and killed off by RCY.
That's a fight won, and convincingly. Yet you do lose your side of Rax, but I think it's a good trade. They're still in Aegis though. They still have to be careful. And Innocence did buy back as well to maybe get some extra kill, but they're being very careful not to go towards the top lane. And look at that, just perfect. On the side.
Oh no, that courier just flew right over Shiro.
What did it have? I didn't see. What did he get?
It's just the helm of the Iron Will. Yeah, I mean, look at how they singled out everybody on the left side of this.
No, it was kind of cool because the fact that Speed broke his unintentionally, Speed dies again, but let's see, Innocence doesn't have a buyback here if he dies.
Have Ravage this time around though, and now Fade is kind of in this spot where he's sold out a little bit. Will-O-Wisp. Shiro thinking about jumping in on this. The Solar Bind also slowing him down. Yules from Fade. He's got another Solar Bind. The Blink away, still slowed up. And they're going to have all 5 heroes coming back over mid.
I just want to say that a really cool thing in that last fight, which you might not think of immediately, Speed, he lost his smoke under a ward, right? But because of the position where he lost his smoke, I think he unintentionally played Tidebound because they didn't understand where the smoke was exactly coming from. They expected the stairs and suddenly Tidehunter is already on top of Coral because how far Speed was from the rest of his team. Unintentionally brilliant. Or maybe intentionally. I'm not going to take it away. Yeah, I'm not going to take away from him. Maybe it is a 5-head play.
Now, you're kind of maybe waiting for Roche again. I'm wondering if they're willing to go and take this fight, but you wait for another Roche. You're giving PA more time to have that damage, and we saw they can kill these heroes quickly on both sides.
Case in point.
Sacred Relic picked up, so it's going to be Nullifier, which is important in getting this kill on Keeper of the Light with his Ghost Scepter. E-Blade for Planet, by the way. Chaotic Offering. Ravage available. Innocence needs to be careful. He does not have buyback.
He took so much damage from almost nothing there. But pushing high ground, honestly, is very dangerous for Tidebound. Even with this 20,000 advantage, I feel like...
I don't know what that means. Still.
It's just a lot of suns and stars, I think.
Yeah.
Is that a constellation of
I'm
some
not
sort?
an astrologist, nor have I ever claimed to be. Is that Sagittarius on there? Is that the Big Dipper? Orion's Belt? That's all I got. Oh, I only know Orion's Belt from Men in Black.
Maybe we should consult Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh,
he always likes to talk about this. Maybe he can understand this watch, this clock.
Maybe. Or Dr. Michio Kaku.
Yeah. That guy.
The clock is like a plate of spaghetti, and the meatballs are the timer. He talks about string theory, and it is insane, but I won't bore you guys. I won't take you away from the game, but look it up. It's amazing.
I love that there's like these... Yeah, whatever. I won't go there as well.
Shiro back out of the high ground looking for a tier 3 tower, but immediately jumps away.
I'm just gonna say his science, Kaku's science, involves a lot of faith. You know, a lot of belief, which doesn't differ him a lot from a religious person. But these guys right now are religiously defending the high ground and buying time for PA. She does have that nullifier that got destroyed, by the way. So
going for Abyssal too. I mean, this is PA. We were talking PA. Battle Fury BKB, can they come back? Now, Battle Fury BKB, Sanjinyasha nullifier, Mindbreaker going into the Abyssal. I mean, this is...
It's not bad. Not bad at all. Keep in mind that this isn't only on the PA. I feel like another hero that we have to look out for is the Prophet, who's really there, up there with the net worth. He's just behind the PA, and he's getting there. An item or two extra on him. He's buying Lincolns next. I'm not sure if I like it too much, but versus a Beastmaster, it's not that bad. I like where they're at the moment. And they're 26k behind.
Yeah, 26k, but PA can make anything happen. Roche... I don't know. You know, an X amount of time left. Just stop mocking me, clock, please. But this is, I think, going to be one of the times where Wildcard finally fight against this Aegis, or for this Aegis. I would assume so. Stop it. I know who my obs are. Guys. I'm going to be sending a very angry, worded text, followed by a very funny sticker.
He's just showing that Rush is up. I don't know what
of course. I love my obs. Should be on a t-shirt. I heart my obs. Shard, cheese, and the banner down to the ground. That is Refresher Shard, not Ag Shard.
Double Roar seems pretty damn good on this Beastmaster. You know what? From Wildcard, I feel like they always reach this point in which a comeback is possible, but then they let an objective or two go without a fight. And now
they
in
might have wanted to
worse
fight
position.
that. Yeah. Level 25, by the way, for Shiro, so he's got that Earth Shock 2 charges. He's just gonna go. They're gonna try Primal Roar, and now the Echo Slam, the damage on the Yamsun, he's dead immediately. There was no Ravage. There was a Chaotic Offering, but that is, I mean, your initiator should have been the Tide, and you paid dearly for it.
Yeah, even... he's back in.
Oh gosh, Abyssal, Bignum dead. Buyback from Yamsun as well as Bignum. They're going to try and go RCY. Ooh, over here on the high ground. And now looking over.
RCY.
As he's going to try and get the right positioning. RC over the BKB, but Shiro coming over. He's going to be hit with the nullifier. The Ravage is going to come through. They got the lockdown onto the Ursa, but it's going to be enough. They've got the calling. They've got the silence. Feeds low. So is Shiro. They get the Aegis out of his hands. Oh, Fissure onto everybody. A Fissure hit 5 heroes, and now he'll jump for more. Shiro gonna go for this Warlock. They get the Cone of Fade, they get the Cone of Speed. They're gonna buy back on both those heroes. They'll take out Bignum. He's dead for 70. Down goes RCY. He's got buyback. That means everybody is bought back for the side of Wildcard. As Tidebound, they'll take this victory. They'll start to retreat.
Look at RCY.
On the side of Wildcard, they need to go and chase because RCY, well, I mean, now without Yamsun dead for 2 minutes, this is gonna be game. Primal Roar used again. RCY is dead. Triple kill there for Shiro, and Tidebound will take the 2-0.
They just play these team fights a bit better.